What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's a spoiler review of The Matrix. Man, this got people talking. I knew it would. I really knew it would from the beginning of it. By the way, if you're brand new to the channel, subscribe. We're almost at 30,000, guys. Been at this channel for 4 months since we started uploading stuff, since the CM Punk interview, since we got Katie Sackhoff on here. It's about 4 months of really pushing. You guys have been helping tremendously. So thank you for all the new subscribers, for those who've been subscribed since the beginning. Thank you so much. And as I mentioned earlier to start this review that was about 30 seconds ago that you heard, I knew that people were going to be talking about this thing, man, in a kind of polarizing way. Because, as I said, I wanted to be wowed by this film. And by the way, obviously, if you saw the thumbnail, this is a spoiler-heavy review. I wanted to be wowed by this movie. I really did. And I wasn't. Unlike, I'm seeing a lot of people, I mean, like I said, I go through, and by the way, again, if you're new to the channel, I try to respond to every single comment that comes in on this channel and have conversations with everybody. It's one of the main things about YouTube that I think has been lost over the years, community. So I've been very responsive to everybody, having conversations, and I continue to do that. And one of the things I noticed is there's a lot of people that just thought this movie was garbage and didn't like it. I did not feel that way. I enjoyed being back in the world. I wanted it to be as, I don't know, a lot of people saying lightning in a bottle for the first one, and I get that. This movie is absolutely, if some people are calling it, whether it's a cash grab or some people saying that it's just not great on the action, I understand all those points. This is not one of those movies that I'm like, oh, I don't know what you're seeing because I feel this way, that way. I get all the grievances, and that's why I'm kind of going through this thing, even when it started out, because as I said in my non-spoiler, they had to explain all the questions that everybody was going to ask from what we saw from the third one. Well, Neo's blind. How are we going to figure that out? Well, the machines and the technology is able to fix his eyes. I can buy that, 100, 200, 300 years into the future, whatever the hell it is. Okay, I can buy that, the kind of technology that they have. Sure. Neo they never said he was dead. At the end, Santine at the end was like, hey, could still be around. So the fact that he's alive, we kind of knew that. I just did the rewatch series for Matrix, and so him being alive again, okay. Trinity being alive, I thought she was dead. It looked like she was gone. Machines were able to revitalize her, bring her back. Okay, technology. It's like, again, as I said before, is it necessary that they did this movie? No, but I enjoyed being back in the world. But I do understand people saying this feels like an unnecessary sequel. The action was absolutely different fight coordinator now. You can tell some of the Steadicam stuff was bad, didn't work. But I'm going to finish this up 1,000 times over with every point that I make. I liked being back in the world. So the meta stuff in the beginning though, I didn't like the Warner Brothers joke at all. It's just like, it's so on the nose, and it's so like, okay, we don't like sequels, and we're going to tell you why, but we're making you watch a sequel, and you're going to spend your money to watch the sequel. And Warner Brothers wants you to do the sequel, so here you go, and we're going to tell the audience that you have to do the sequel because everyone wants you to go back there now. Just ripped me out of it, and at the same time thought it was clever. It was weird, but I'm saying to myself, if someone's watching this and they hate it, I can't see myself sitting in a room with that person going, oh, what are you talking about? This is great. I can see going, I understand why you don't like that. I thought it was just a different way to do it. Neil Patrick Harris's character did not land for me. And the other thing that didn't really work for me overall was I still don't really understand, and you guys can tell me because I've only seen it once, so I'm sure on a second, third, fourth rewatch, whatever, and you guys can tell me if you feel differently. But the one question that I didn't really get, and Niobe explains it to Neo, I think, and that's how the world kept going, basically the same, with the machines coming back after him. I know there was I get it, there was a war between the machines. For the first time, we saw a war with the machines against each other. And then I liked the idea of the fact that I really liked the idea that the machines started working with the humans, at least a subsect of them were because of everything that I just watched in the Animatrix and watching how finally for these people and the fact that Zion failed because they kept fighting the fight of, no, it's either us or them. And finally, when they started working in tangent, then that's when it started to get better. I like the idea of Niobe really being the one who's looking after the new city and paying attention to it. And I thought that Bugs was great, but I think it's because the actress was so good. Jessica Henwick, so good. And the character herself wasn't developed enough. We get it. In this one, she kind of serves as the Morpheus character, even though Yaya is the one who is deemed Morpheus. And I didn't mind that, by the way, because people were like, how is he going to play a young Morpheus if this is all reset? The idea that Neo created this whole thing for him to eventually be found again, I like that idea. I thought it was clever, and it's something that the Neo knows the system so well that he would set all this stuff up back and forth. And we see the redesign of Trinity, and that's how they discover this thing, and it's the path that she's able to find the Morpheus character, who then, and I love the idea of to me, this was explained better, and that's why I said in my review that I thought it made a little bit more sense sometimes than 2 and 3 did, where I never really loved the idea of Smith entering Bane's body in the human form, and you're like, well, how? What? Because of the thing in the back of his head that wasn't really explained that well. I love the idea that the machines are able to present themselves in the world now in this new technology, this new form, and the way that Morpheus does it, the way these other characters do it, the way they're working to create strawberries. I thought all that stuff was pretty fascinating. I loved that stuff, and it was, and I liked how much time we spent into the Matrix, and it's so funny. The other day, we're talking about on this. I'm just letting you know, if you're brand new to this channel, I go into it. There's a lot of other channels out there that do extensive research, and God bless them, and I probably watch them. I talk about movies the same way that when you and I, if we go saw a movie together, then I will start talking about it. So I'm not going to go back. I'm going to tell you right now, the guy that plays Kristoff from Frozen, and he was in Hamilton. He plays Newt Smith. You know his name. Good. I'm happy, and I'll probably know it eventually. I called Tom Hardy the English guy the first time I saw Inception. So get off my balls for it. How do you not do the research? See you later. He's good. He's good. Still trying to figure out if I like the idea of him and Neo teaming up. I think I do. I think I like that idea, because he's still trying to get him, screaming Mr. Anderson. He's been duped by the system also. He's pissed off about it. And then at the end, all hell starts breaking loose. Throwing people out the window like Walking Dead style. I don't know if I loved that. The ending was kind of sloppy. And Trinity, let's talk about Trinity. This is the best part of the movie to me, and was the love story between Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Trinity, and Neo. I thought that was the strongest part of the whole thing. Very similar to like Amazing Spider-Man 2, where Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone are the saving grace of that film overall. That's what I felt about this. I believe their love. I believe the fact that Neo really wants to get back to her. He wants to wake her up, and the idea to keep going on, that they're both in the pods together, that he sees her when he wakes up again. All that stuff. Thought it was incredible. The fact that she's got to break away from her family. I thought she broke out of it a little too easy at the end there, but it was 2.5 hours long, which again is probably another issue. It was a little longer. But there was something about it, and people who were going, "Oh man, why do they make?" I was telling my brother this morning. He's like, "Well," and he's like, "Well, I'm just curious. Are they making Trinity the one now? Is that the case?" And I was like, "No, it's similar to what they did in the new trilogy of Star Wars, which is probably something that a lot of people are like, well, that's the problem. They have this bond together. Neo's in this whole damn movie, running around doing everything that he has to do, trying to rediscover his powers. I like the idea that he can't fly again. And he's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I thought that was a good bit. But the idea that he becomes, because of this version of the Matrix, is based off the two of them. So to me, that made sense. They set that up. They said, okay, you got to have Trinity and Neo in order to make this Matrix work, in order for this one to be powerful. So it's like it's the two keys. So it makes sense that once she figures out how to do it, that she's going to be able to kick some ass too. And I thought that was good. I love Carrie-Anne Moss. She was fantastic in this. And I the letdown stuff, the train scene to me, and the new ways that they were I miss the phone. I know that we don't need the phone anymore. I kind of miss the phone. I miss the music. I didn't think the music was as great as the first time around. I know that they wrote music to it when Lana Wachowski was writing this. She had the composer kind of do it with her. I liked the original. I missed it. I know that there was remnants of it, but it would have fit to me more. Yeah, let's see the Morpheus stuff. I loved the scene. I loved the scene with Niobe when she's taking him through the new city, Neo, and explaining everything that happened. And then there's that statue of Morpheus. They don't ignore him. They don't kind of push him to the side and not acknowledge what had happened. It's the same thing what they do with Neo, and most people are in awe of him and what he has done and the legend that he has. And the scene with Niobe. I don't know if I love the makeup. I think that Jada Pinkett Smith did a good job of portraying someone who's older, like 80 or 90, whatever she was. But the makeup, I don't know. Maybe just because I know, maybe it's my eyes aren't fooled, and I know that she's not that old, and it just I wasn't buying it. I don't know how you guys feel, but anyway, as I told you guys in the review, for me it was watching this and saying, okay, I'm glad to be back here. But I really wanted to be in a place where I was just knocked out on the reasoning why. And the meta stuff in the beginning, he's watching all this stuff that happened as in his life, and we've known this, and right on the nose, letting you know that this of course is the fourth movie, and here's Neo watching himself in that scene, and here's Morpheus doing that. It's like, again, clever, but I said to myself, I don't know if people are going to love it. Once Neo gets involved in it, I think we start to cook and we start to move a little bit more. And there is a lot of repetitive things that happen in this movie. You know, the Agent Smith stuff, because when they start, and Machiavellian, is that his name? I don't remember. Again, like I said, the Monica Bellucci's husband. What's his name? He how disheveled, and they didn't even bring him back though. He's just kind of screaming and yelling about how, you stupid asshole, you look what you did to me, you screwed this whole thing up. That just kind of gets buried, and I wish they would have played on that more. So there's just so many great ideas in this movie that I think are just not executed all the way. And they just there's certain things, strongest stuff, as I mentioned before, is the Neo and Trinity stuff. There's no doubt. Keanu Reeves is Keanu Reeves, and there's times and when you finally see him start to kick back in, he's like, I still know kung fu stuff, and when he's relearning everything, and I like the idea where in his head he thinks he's going crazy, and in his head he's going, did I just make all this stuff up? He's like, this can't be real. These characters are visiting me now. There was that thing that I kind of liked about it. Like I was telling you, the meta stuff there, I didn't hate it like a lot of people did. I thought there was something like, okay, this is an interesting way back in, and I think I'm wondering that if the action and some of the stuff was shot a little better, if it would have made the movie that much more enjoyable. Because I don't know, I just did this rewatch, and I said in my initial review that I think that it's better than 2 and 3, and I don't know. I got to go back and watch 4, because I wind up liking 2 and 3 better on the rewatch recently. But I know that going into this movie, I said, this is going to be the one that I'm going to give me 5, give me 6, give me 7, let's go. If they said they're not doing 5, I'd probably be like, all right. I'm not, I love seeing these characters, and it's very similar like Fantastic Beasts. Many of you may be watching this video couldn't give a shit if another one of those movies came out, right? I'm excited for the third movie. I want to see the third movie. If they canceled it, I'd go, all right. It's similar to me at that point. Terminator, same thing. Terminator, run into the ground. Don't need another Terminator. But if it comes out again, I'll watch it. Same thing with Die Hard. I'm the consumer. That's right. I'm the consumer. I'm the one that they keep making these movies for, because I'll keep watching them. But I'm also going to say when they're, duh, and this one is that. Duh. It is. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed watching it. BMX, very, very similar to Fantastic Beasts. Every comment that people were like, there weren't a lot of them, but there were some that were like, I don't know. Come on, man, this movie sucks. I'm like, I get that you're saying that. I get it. There's things about me. I liked being back in the world. And I liked doing that. And that's why if it was 5 and 6, I would watch it again. But I'm just not going to be disappointed if they cut it off. I don't think they left it open enough to where I give a shit. I don't think there were enough new characters that were set up. Again, Bugs is great because just very charismatic and fun. But I don't know anything about her except she's rebellious. She's rebellious. She doesn't really listen. She's like Morpheus. It's the same type of beats that we've seen before. She was great. But I didn't learn a lot about her, you know? So, I don't know, this very nostalgic. What else can I say about this movie? I really don't know. When I did my Spider-Man review, it was funny because I was more excited for this movie than I was Spider-Man. And if you put the two of them together, they both play off nostalgia. I just think that Spider-Man just did it better in a more, the narrative that they told was more solid, made more sense, and wasn't even necessarily made sense, just less lazy. It's such a bummer for me to say that because I really wanted this movie to be awesome. I really wanted it to be great. But if you're going to ask that question in the comments, well, why'd you give it a 3.2 or 3.3 or whatever the hell I gave it, right? Because I liked watching it. And it was and I will probably watch it again. If I watch all 4 of the movies, I'll watch it again. And I like Keanu Reeves and I like Carrie-Anne Moss. I like them together. I liked Yaya in this. I like there's so many it's fun. But it's not great. That's really it, guys. What am I going to say about this movie? What else should I say about this movie? I'll tell you what. You ask questions in the motherfucking comments, and I'll answer those shits. How about that? So you want to talk about it? Let's talk about this shit. Do you think it's shit? Or do you think it's a good movie? Did you have fun with it? It's mixed, man. I'm seeing people who feel the same way that I do. I'm seeing people who love this motherfucker. Some people who think it stinks. What say you? Sitting over there in the Matrix. Don't be one of these people who just kind of watches and then clicks likes and subscribes. I like that. Be part of the conversation. That's how we grow this channel. That's how we keep on talking. Because that's what YouTube's been about for a long time. People lost that shit. So I'll be Neo. Get us all back. I'll be the one. Am I kidding? Hurt my back. Try to whip around, do a spin kick. Knock some sugar onto the table. Have the dog look it up. What the hell am I talking about? Listen, I got to get the hell out of here. I hope you enjoy this review. And that's all I got for you today. That's the spoiler review. Because I don't know what more can I dive into at this point. The train scene sucks. I don't like the steady cam. Music, not that great. Relationship between Trinity and Neo, fantastic. New performances, great, not underdeveloped characters. The new city, great. Love the robots working with each other. Neil Patrick Harris, fine, but didn't really make a lot of sense. And the new character wasn't as intimidating as I thought. I will say that it was a scene that I really liked. I really liked a lot, actually, was the idea that he knows how to fight Neo's powers in slowing that down. That scene where he catches a bullet right before he hits Trinity. Loved all that stuff. Acknowledging bullet time and all that, I don't know. But that particular scene and the way that all played and the fact that he slowed it down and then Smith comes in to figure out how to maneuver around that, I did like that. So like I said, there was some fun stuff in here. And I don't think, and this is where the disagree between me and you probably is for some people. I was never really bored. I wasn't bored. I was always watching. I would watch a particular scene, unfortunately, and be like, all right, after a scene, when I wanted to be like, oh my God, that was incredible. But I was never like, oh, let's go, which is great for a 2.5 hour movie. All right, that's really it now. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to this channel if you're brand new to it. Hit that notification button. I got so much shit on this channel. I got so much stuff. So much. Whether it's reactions, reviews. The big thing is a show that I do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, although obviously it's going to be until the Christmas break. It'll probably be all maneuvered because of Boba Fett coming out for Sith Council. So the schedule will change up just a little bit, but we have 2 long-form shows on this channel. It's The Big Thing and Sith Council. So check those out, but then a lot of short-form content. That's what I do. All right, guys. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me. Catch you soon.